Hey everybody, and welcome back to another casted game here on Age of Bison. Hoping that the microphone is in both ears this time. Stereo
I
technology long ago invented, but recently added in the House of the Platypus Slayer. Thank you all for making it this far. This is a game 3 of a quite the intense series. This is between Tars, aka K-Lau S. Kloss 117, longtime member of the community, along with Squamiger, who's another longtime member. This guy's played the game for a long time, very knowledgeable player. Both of these guys were selected to fight each other because they're just very good players in their respective civs, right? Both of them playing legacy civs. These are legacy maps, so I'm told that this game 3 was quite interesting. I know we had some issues with out of syncs on the rest of their games, but if we get a chance, we will cast some of those as well. And I am joined here today by generalSpades. How's it going?
going well. I swear, Plat, my left ear really enjoyed the last video that we uploaded, but it's okay.
Yeah, turns out there's a
Um,
button called mono and 2-track, and I'm not smart enough for 2-track. I need to stay to 1.
all right, sounds good to me. Well, we should have an interesting matchup here. Both these players pretty well known in the entire Age of Empires 3 community. Both very talented players and should be a good game.
All right. You know, my first thoughts too is it's kind of interesting because I have seen this matchup quite a bit of India and Dutch. These are two civs that are very closely matched. They tend to kind of swing back and forth throughout DE, with who is the dominant civ. But basically, India is stronger in Age 2, but lacks siege often. Dutch are weak in Age 2, but if they get to Age 3, their composition and their economy can strip the Indians, who can then the Indian eco also scales continuously, so they can eventually it just goes back and forth and back and forth. What I find interesting is they picked both of these civs on a map with trade posts, which is not something you typically have this matchup on.
No, I think both of these civs do well without trade posts. Dutch is going to sit in base and make banks and kind of turtle. And India, they can use the trade post because they have that XP penalty, but they're chopping a lot of wood for villagers, so they don't really necessarily need to use that trade post. So, maybe there were better civs for the map, but both these players are, I'd imagine, fairly comfortable in the civs that they picked, so they're just going to go with it regardless.
Exactly. And so far, with the one house, that is kind of cluing us in that this is not going to be the all-in rush, the classical, I don't know, 10-10 sepoy, right? So I would imagine this is going to be a little bit of a safer, perhaps a bit more of a greedy play from India. It'll be really interesting to see what their decks are. But already on this map, going for the treasures. Yep, 90 food. That'll be huge for India.
Oh, that's great. And looking at the civ grid here, Plat, you see both of these civs are actually very well matched. Historical data puts the all-time win rate at slightly in India favor, but close enough to be considered an even matchup. 53-47 in India's favor on current patch. It's less than that. It's 52-48 in India's favor, but an even matchup regardless, I think.
I would agree. All right, and now it looks like the deck coming in for India. We'll spy here in just a second. See what he picks as his first card. Looks like
And it is going to be distributivism.
Yep. Looking at this deck, this looks like a classic India deck, right? You kind of have all the essential cards. Looks like there is a bit of a focus on perhaps Sobers and Zambrax. Something to consider is that Dutch don't get Musketeers, which isn't 100% true anymore, but typically don't get Musketeers. So the Soar, which is definitely not the best cavalry in the game, is capable of getting a bit more value, I think, in this matchup than it normally would. Other than that,
and it's certainly called 1v1 standard, so
right,
makes sense that's what you see is this is the classic India matchup that's been in the game since 2008 or so.
Exactly.
Or deck, anyways.
Okay, Mort means death. Okay. This is not a standard deck.
Well, you got the church card in there. You got some Irish brigs. You got Dutch States Army. Or sorry, that's not that. That's Dutch East India. What is that card called?
Okay, so this card recently got
East
revamped.
India Company, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's right.
The key thing here is banks cost less, right? But envoys can build banks.
And that's pretty interesting. And it increases their hit points too.
Also, like his advanced artillery. Okay, I've never seen a Dutch deck without like a single Age 4 card. Perhaps he would
Oh,
be.
I just realized that. Oh my goodness. What the hell are we in for?
I have no idea. Tars is a longtime Dutch main, so I
What
assume
is
he
he
knows
aging up with?
Quartermaster. So pretty
Okay,
standard.
yeah.
There goes
So
the first
far.
bank. Did he?
But he didn't send Dutch East India Company. He sent 3 merchants first. So I don't know if he's got time to send that anymore. He's got a shipment. I'm assuming he's saving it for age 2. When does he send Dutch East India Company?
I don't know. I wish I could give you an answer.
If he does, right? Like, why have it in the deck? Why not have factories in the deck if you're not going to send Dutch East India Company?
Yeah, that is really
Seems
strange.
like an interesting decision.
So, aggro in the mid base, pretty standard. 2 sepoys are going to come out. I would imagine.
Scouted by Dutch with the envoy, which is nice.
Right. Oop, getting some architects. So, yeah, going for a little bit more greed. He'll probably poke around with some sepoys. Second bank coming up. I mean, this looks like a really standard play.
And he sent 700 wood.
Yeah, this is standard Dutch. This is not a standard Dutch deck, but this is standard Dutch so far.
Macro's looking, all food, plus he's going to gather up. Yeah, I mean, he's going to build another bank with his wood and maybe get a racks up and some walls, I see. And deleting the wall pillars, which is an interesting decision.
Right. There is a recent change on this last patch where walls cost 1 wood. Or sorry, the pillars cost 1 wood. These now cost 6 wood. And so, but if you have a pillar, it gives more HP to the walls, right? So like this one has 1,000. Let's see if he builds this. And it'll show us.
So they all cost 6, just a quick clarification, but the pillars take 1 second to build.
Ah, okay. True.
And he's not building them. I don't know if he deleted them or not, and we just can't see it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, there we go.
All right, and it looks like 7 sepoys here at about 6 minutes. Just poking around. Again, Dutch should be able to defend this, but those sepoys are pretty tanky with their extra HP, so...
And the pike shipment coming in for Dutch here, so he should be able to hold this pretty well. Not too worried about between the town center fire and the shipment of pikemen and the one explorer already going down to TC fire. Yeah, and India's gonna have to back off here.
Exactly. When you're playing as India in this situation, right? Like your job is just to idle the Dutch and slow them down, right? Again, India's boom is kind of like a very steady one with the 1 villager per shipment. Your units are very solid age 2. Dutch do not have, especially this deck, doesn't really have like a power spike shipment in age 3 like Spy or 2 Falcons. So, just take the map, take your time, and try to idle Dutch while your boom kind of continues to tick, So far, not a lot going on. Oop. This guy's toast probably. Oh, wait a minute.
Sepoy gonna come in. Pikeman gonna run away.
Ooh,
and
look at that, though. Pull tricking the Explorer. Love to see it.
And is he gonna get one last pot shot off? No, he's just gonna run back into his base. And Hussar coming in for Dutch in form of a shipment with some. Are those some skirms in the back now?
That is.
So he can defend against those Sepoy.
Yeah, and again,
a couple off. There we go.
Yeah, Sepoy, tanky Musk, but nothing really wants to tangle with a skirmisher in H2. Really good unit control by both these players so far. Really again showcasing why they're definitely on the stronger side, I think, of the relative teams. Again, this is a team 1v1 format, but we did try to limit the elo so that way it was a little bit more of a casual level. And that guy's toast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's hop over to India's POV for a quick moment or two and see what he's up to.
Delhi, because why not get Ottoman stuff?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Okay.
So here's an interesting choice. I mean, obviously Dutch had the aggro scouted. He's got those pikes, and he is gonna maybe try and siege this down and get some raiding. Skirmishers are gonna pop off. There we go. Yeah, the Sepoy are gonna come in. But I don't think he has enough to deal with this, especially with those Delhi coming in.
No, and his Hussar out of position. This could be really deadly. Those Delhi are no joke, and those pikes are going to melt.
A little bit of a drag box there, but between the aggro fort and all these Sepoy, you have to back off as Dutch. Oh, good raids.
But yeah,
Is
definitely.
he microing the force and is going to lose at least 3 villagers?
Looks like.
Possibly 3. I don't know how many he got, but at least 2, I think.
Is there a spy? What? Okay.
Yeah, that's a decision, I guess.
Perhaps he was trying to get, the explorers for India are such an integral part of it, right? Because the Indian army is kind of slow. I mean, the Delhi are fast, and the camels are fast, but they're very squishy, right? So often India players use the elephants, and they can also heal their army too, which gets a lot more mileage out of units like these Delhi, right? Because these are better Delhi. And just like that, yep, Sower's now out. Again, not the best cavalry in the world for the price, but not the worst either.
And India still has the one explorer dead in Dutch's base. Hasn't decided to either purchase him back or ransom him back or try and go get him. So that is definitely a thing that is a benefit to Dutch here.
Ooh.
But as I say that,
man, these Lancer units, man, those just like that. Suddenly, okay, Dutch's army's just going to vanish here. And yeah, using the pikes there to buy himself some time, but that was a lot of hits coming off. And look, these walls never built.
Okay. I wonder if he sees that now and is going to send some units out to get those pillars built, because that gate has 500 less HP. Oh no, it's still being boosted. What?
This wall is. This isn't. The gate's not.
But the gate's not. Okay.
Yeah. This is quite the force, but what do we got going on here? Oop, another good raid there. Man, good game since they're by Tars, but I mean, Squadmaker at the same time, he is playing perfectly. He's just trying to contain Dutch, put the pressure on here. He knows there's not a lot of army for Dutch.
How many banks is Dutch on? Still only 3, possibly?
Yes, looks
Still
like 3.
3 banks. Running out of food in base now, and he's got this large force to contend with. Now India is sending eco cards behind all this, knowing, I believe, that he's going to just have an advantage, and that he can just simply run away if he needs to and save his mass.
Man, but speaking of mass and running away, now these skirms did shadow tech, but these things are just gonna eat them alive. You know what I mean? Again, these Ruby lots are so potent.
Those 3 pikes are not gonna. I think he tried to pull trick there, and maybe it failed.
I think so.
And those 3 pikes are not going to save the day here.
No, not at all. He gets what, a few pokes in, and that whole thing right there is about to be cleared up. So, kind of an interesting one. But Dutch is up in age. Their units are stronger. He's got great value. Oh, but now he's sending the AZAPs again. Everyone loves Ottoman units.
Yeah. Sure, if you can get Ottoman units, get Ottoman units.
Right. Ooh, now the Reuters are coming out,
though. Is that a Reuter shipment, or is that a...
Yeah, that's the 9.
Or did he send them on... Did he get them on age up?
No. He used the 9 shipment.
Okay. Yep, there it is.
What is he going to do? Like, honestly, okay. Not gonna lie, it's looking really good here for India. Even though, like I said, they are down in age. It's just this massive units. Dutch doesn't really have much. Oh, no.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Disaster strikes Rotterdam.
Right? Oh.
Okay, but you do have a few Reuters here to try and, salvage what there is, but you're going to lose some bills there. Yeah, so what is this, 14 Reuters? 14 Reuters, and then he's going to get, 15 now out, it looks like. So he's going to try and kite, but these vills are just running. And they're, he's not gathering anything but coin right now from his only 3 banks. So curious to see how Dutch decides to save the day here, because he's just going to be losing vills.
Yeah, this is rough too. I mean, India's going to, 31 vills, few trickles. Like they're doing, okay, yeah, he's going to try to put a fort down. I like this too, how Squadmaker, let me watch this fight before I do too much, but I really like that kind of camping on resources, right? Because on this map, the hunts are really far out, and you can starve out an opponent, but wow, just like that, now it's Squadmaker losing the army.
Minutemen and a batch of skirms comes to save the day, and now, India is going to have to retreat and maybe try and find a way to age up here. Wow.
Okay, so yep, and it looks like you were saying, like I said, India is aging up. Sharpenar Gate, kind of a classic one, probably to get. This is the one that gives the Mahout, right?
Couldn't tell you.
Snags a house with the AZAPs, who are losing their siege here pretty soon, but because they're fast, they just walk off. And, oop, now it looks like we're going to get Reuter rated. God, anyone that's played like a noob lobby or a team game knows how obnoxious this unit is. They are not the best goons, but like... we've all been there.
They're one pop, and, you know, you get a bunch of them in mass like that, you know, it's hard to deal with.
Exactly.
And you are right, the Mahout does come in, but...
Ooh, trapped though.
We'll see. I think it's going to end up going down. Yeah, it does end up going down to the Reuter fire and a fort versus Agra in the middle of the map. Wow. Okay. Dutch trying to seize back a little bit more map control.
Kind of reminds me.
He's still out of hunts.
Yep. Kind of reminds me of those memes where it's like you versus the guy that she doesn't tell you to worry about. Right? This is you. This is the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. But, okay, just poking away, being annoying, and man.
More villas, they're going to run away. I mean, despite being idled for, you know, however many hundreds of villager seconds as he had to, the vills ran away from his base, he ended up getting, you know, decent compensation for that with the Reuter raid, picking off a few vills and idling India in return. But, I mean, I think overall, India is has still taken the better trades and just overall has an advantage right now. But you know, we'll see what happens, how much of this game is left. Right. Both players age 3 now, so power spikes should be arriving shortly, and maybe it's the first civ to get to age 4 wins here, but we'll see how that
something
shakes
too is, so Dutch is on what, 16, 17 vills compared to the 33 of India, 18 now. They do have these 3 banks, so it's like another 12, so the economies are relatively equal. I think what's going to come down here is a big fight in the middle, and then whoever can push the other guy off hunts. You know, again, India can build some more banks, and that will give them a bit of a power spike. Their goon skirm, I would argue, is a bit better. You know, if someone in the comments wants to disagree with that, let me know. But I really feel like Dutch has to be careful, because these raids are good, but then it also leaves you vulnerable to counterplay. Like, just imagine like a batch of Mahouts pushing right now.
Yeah, that would be pretty deadly. I'm gonna do one thing, Platt, here in just a moment. I'm gonna go take a look at the, as we see a bunch of idols now. I'm gonna take a look at the map selection and see if there's any civ that particularly benefits on this map versus the other. We're gonna go find.
While you're doing that, oh, it looks like there is another. Okay, man, Tars is just on point here with these raids, and I mean it's pushing Squadmaker back. I mean, this is a really interesting kind of like strategy, because it seems like Squadmaker he's kind of stuck in this weird spot. Like, do I let my villagers get exposed, or do I push? You know, and oh, a wall now coming up here. Good job.
Large wall. This is Saxony, is that correct?
No, this would be Dakota.
No, Dakota. All right. Here we go. We're loading up
2 town centers. Okay, that's not something you see every day with Dutch, but you know, considering how hard he got hit earlier. Ooh, and now we're going for advanced artillery. Now, I don't know if anyone here has watched the video, but famously Tars, and if you look in our playlist, it should be there, once beat Ottoman with mortars in age 3. So.
Oh, that was fantastic. I remember that video.
Yes.
So I do have the map stats up. Dutch does not really have a significant map advantage here. His win rate, or Dutch's win rate on this map is, you know, within a margin of error. It's only 0.8% higher on this map than others. India, on the other hand, down 3.1% in terms of being a, you know, map bonus, which isn't a ton, but it is worth mentioning.
Looks like he's going, securing the walls here. You know, again, walling is... I mean, this is how you should be walling, right? Like in a game like this, because when you're getting raided to death by these super fast goons, 1 layer, I mean, these goons' siege is probably less than 9, because I think a normal goon is 9. 7. Yeah. These are not high siege units at the least bit, so really.
Yeah, I'm not super mad about these walls.
No.
I feel like this is kind of how the devs intended walls to be played, and obviously with pillarless walls becoming the norm and the abuse that followed and the multi-layers and all that stuff. Like this kind of walling is fine because you're just trying to seize a little bit of map control.
Right. And stop this.
And, you know, maybe secure a hunt or two.
Yep.
And yeah, prevent the raids. That's the biggest thing. If you want to prevent raids, make a wall.
Yeah.
Make them run around, because then you'll see them if you're paying attention to the mini-map.
Or if your poor villager finishes. I'm going to guess there's a shift click.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this aggro, man, getting a lot of value. And, okay, yep, already pulling back a lot of his force. But, you know, these Gurkha are a lot slower, and, you know, they're just going to get pulled around, run around. But at the same time, I don't know. At this point, in theory, India can go longer. Oh, look at that. Mortars are coming out. Oh, that's so cool.
So now I think the game plan here for Dutch is to get the mortars, obviously idle, which he's doing a very good job of. Get the mortars, get the aggro, and then kind of push in right down the middle, because he's got that fort, that huge presence there, and he's kind of expanding that way. Interesting to see, you know, to pop over to maybe his town real quick and see how he's getting his food, because I don't see villagers anywhere gathering food on the map.
I think, did he just give up food?
Well, that's because he's not gathering any food at all.
Oh.
What is going on here? Okay, maybe he's gonna herd this one in.
Okay, aggro down though.
Yeah, 3 mortars will do that real quick for you.
Yep. Can't wait for the next batch too, when the advanced arsenal card will send an order too. I feel like against those type of, like, you know, mid-pressure fort kind of plays, right? Like, it's going to be a fantastic card.
What it really does is it negates the it negates players being benefited by just turtle FI play, because if that really becomes a thing, you can just send advanced artillery and then you get a mortar, and a lot of civs can't really deal with that if you defend yourself. If you defend your mortar well, that's huge.
Exactly. Now coming in here, okay, these Gurkha though, 174 now HP to 144 because they have the Mansabar, which is always a nightmare.
There's 5 envoys there.
Tanking though, good use that envoy.
Yeah, just messing up the attack move, and just allowing those skirms to. They can attack people.
That's right. And these siege elephants too. the comp.
No, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but man, when it lands.
You know, yeah, per pop, right? It's not exactly the best because it uses this barrage. I mean, we're talking like 8 damage, 10 mortar damage basically, but it does have this large area effect. So on a unit that's relatively squishy like a Gurkha, I mean, he sniped out the Mansabar somehow.
Yeah, and in the end, you know, that just makes them take 1 less shot from a skirmisher.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now he has some helps out. Very important comp too. You know, that is something Dutch players tend not to do. It's a pain in the butt to try to, like, micro into a swarm of elephants, even though those elephants and their pathing is also notoriously bad. But halberdiers, I think, are a really important part of that composition. And picks up some free units. Wow. I'm kind of surprised this game is still going, to be honest. And speaking of, that's scary.
And on that note, Platt, I kind of feel like there's an inverse relationship with the amount of players that you need, or that are on a team, and the amount of different types of units that you have in your composition. So if you're in a 1v1, what you're really trying to aim for is a good 3-unit composition, whether that's like Musk Huss and Falconets, or artillery, or, you know, Skirm Goon, and maybe a Lancers or something like that. Whereas in 2v2 you can get away with 2 types, and in 3v3s you can kind of monocomp, and it's great. And we're seeing both these players utilizing that kind of theory, where you've got halberdiers and skirmishers and Reuters with, you know, a little bit of mortar backup. And for India, you're seeing Sawar and Gurkha, and I don't know what that 3rd unit is that's in there, in that mass there.
This could be rough. Is he going to catch these vills? Yep. Yeah, and now Tar's getting pushed around here a little bit. I mean, he does have a nice map control.
Really back and forth game here. These mortars are going to go on the counter attack.
Holy, that's a lot of
Oh
moves,
God.
though.
Oh yes. Oh, that's not good.
You need to get.
That is.
That's scary. And now that look, this force is coming back. Okay.
So
So
we
I
could
think
see a pretty potent pinch maneuver right here. If India pushes in with his in-base units right now and catches, yeah, here we go. This could end up being bad.
halberdiers too, killing these surgeons. I really like too the use of the British, I believe, consulate surgeons. They're by Squabmaker, right, to be able to heal up his units. Again, when India has these big tanky units, you get a lot of value. But you know what? I just realized something too. This barrage attack has more range than the siege elephants, wherever they went. Did they die?
Did they get caught by some halbs, or are they just kind of hanging in the back?
Okay, there they are.
Oh, there they are. Okay, they're just hanging in the back.
And, yeah, I believe their range is 28. I guess we'll see here if they go into firing mode.
Sawar's going to come in and try and deal with the
But
mortars
look at
here,
that,
but they're getting caught by
Ooh.
everything. Oh, there's the mahouts. Oh, this is not good. Where are the halbs? Where are the halbs to come save the day? They are not there.
Wow.
These skirms are going to die. This coin
Okay,
mine's
wait,
going
wait.
to have
There's
to get
there's 5
vacated.
halbs mixed in, but these mahouts, you know what? They're just pathing around though. This is the problem. Okay, so these units, like raw stats, are amazing. Also, you have this.
Very interesting to see Tars here just leaving all his vills on this coin mine to extricate as much coin as he can. He's just kind of letting them die, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he's like, F it, I'm Dutch. Man, I mean, those mahouts have tanked so much damage, but like, yeah, now they're starting to get in these little areas where they're pathing. I mean, this is a lot of meat, not attacking. And this is, like I said, ooh, now the halbs getting on the siege
They're
elephants.
inside the walls now. There's a halbs, yep. And the fort's gonna live to shoot another cannon, it seems like.
Wow. So I think what we just saw on display there was the biggest problem with mahouts. So mahouts are like one of those units that is like wins games and loses games, right? They're extremely resource inefficient, but their stats are so crazy that usually at this point of the game they can brute through anything. I mean, just look at this thing. This is insane stats, but they are famously bad at connecting with their opponent. So if they connect with their opponent, they will get their money back plus more usually.
And if you don't have the exact right counter, in this case halberdiers, you're dead.
Yeah. Like, they're game-winning units, but their pathing is notoriously bad. And sometimes if you're not babysitting them or the pathing gods just hate you, they'll just spin Brodies. So now looking at this, kind of not the best micro there for Tars. Losing a lot of Reuter for free. Oh, because he's over here just between the envoys dying and now the surgeons. A lot of hatred to civilians on this game.
That was a Red Cross civilian medic. Yeah, he did not deserve those war crimes.
Doctors Without Borders, and now it's right. Doctors Without Safety. Okay. Ooh, sieging down the houses now too, and yeah, God, Squabmaker now on the back foot. More envoys to it, man. I really like that about Tars. He's always getting the best advantage out of his units. Same with Squabmaker too. Look, he's already retrained the Mansabar, so kind of like a nice little Damiano bonus or Daimo. God, I can't pronounce it. Japanese hero bonus.
Yes, that guy.
Ooh.
The dude that poops out cannons.
Yeah, the cannons.
No, that's the Shogun. Never mind. But.
Ooh, and look, see, just like that, 4 mahouts are now pushing back this entire force. Ooh, these halbs need to get in that fight. Yeah, even these Reuters, they're going to eat it up close. Yep, backs off. Does lose one.
There's once the halbs arrive, you got to back off. You only lost 1 mahout, so you're fine. You're not really under any. As long as you can keep them away from the halbs, you're doing just fine in terms of your units. But you can see here a lot of pressure by Tars. He's going to push up. He's going to try and pick off some vills, but the mahouts are just going to eat through these hussar even too.
Exactly. I mean, population-wise, Hussar will win because, again, mahouts they're like a lancer, right? They have a pretty low hand attack for their population, but I don't know. Actually, I think Squabmaker is going to hold here because his army's just a lot bigger. You know, all of his stuff is close by, and Tars is trickling units in. And I mean, these Mahoots in these tight corners, they're getting the full area effect.
And of course, you know, India on nearly 80 villagers here, so making resource or gathering resources and making units is not going to be an issue.
Okay, up to 4 banks now. I think he's actually stayed there. I don't know. I think he built one at some point. We missed, but oh, clearly he built one. Boy, what a genius statement there. Pro-casting. He didn't cheat it, we swear. But in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, now the Zambrak pop coming up, that's clutch.
Huge shipment, yeah.
Damn, man, this has been a clean game so far.
Finally going to be able to push the Dutch out of the base, even though there are some more skirms trickling in here. The Halbs seem to have been vanquished, and I don't see any more on the horizon, although I could be wrong.
Oh, looks like skirming. Squawmaker here, it looks like he's mainly macroed for Mahoots, so I would imagine he is... Oh, he's got enough resources, too, to get the British consulate army, the Falcon extra musketeers. Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. You know, and we saw that, I believe, in a game that we casted, not me and you, but a game that appeared on Age of Bison earlier, where, you know, 2 Hussar... It was Toblerone versus Kerrylag, I believe. 2 Hussar came in and were able to wipe out like 15, 18, 20 villagers and really swing the tides of the battle. So 2 Hussar in there in the base,
all right,
doing their job.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I think India is going to start out scaling because, I mean, at this point, the Vil difference is just massive. I think someone's going to have to go to H4, but then...
Dutch needs more banks. He needs 6. Looks like he can get 6 banks right now. Does he have the advanced church card? I didn't see. I think he does.
He does in his deck, but he's not sent it.
So you can send the extra bank card or the extra bank build limit. You can send the advanced church card as you're kind of expanding and maybe trying to get to age 4 here.
I wonder if the reason his deck looks like that is if he wants to revolt to South Africa.
He's not macroing for an age up at all.
No.
But that would make sense.
Check out the new red coats. Blue trim because of the person, but or not the person, but the player color. But oh man, oh, and he just gets that for free.
And then the falconet goes out. Yeah, losing basically nothing for that.
Wow, that was man.
And this hole in the wall is just gonna end up being a nuisance, I think, over and over for India here. He can't. You know, maybe build a second layer behind this so that they can't just keep infiltrating, because otherwise you're going to see some raids. You know, they're just going to keep sneaking in there.
I think so, man. You know, it's not often that you have Dutch with map control. Something to think about, too, is no one's really taken any TPs, which, I mean, it's understandable that their, you know, budgets are kind of tight right now, all things considered, but I think that would have given each player a little bit of extra eco, right? When your eco is so close and close, because it's, what, 50 plus 4 banks, so... 70 Vils to 90, though. Ooh. I think it's definitely starting to swing into India's favor here.
As long as he can hold and not take any bad trades, just the resource value, especially with both distributivism and foreign logging, as these Mahouts are going to come into contact here. Just the trickles and just pure villager numbers is not going to go well for Dutch.
You know, too, those Mahoots with their area effect are so good at like killing retreating armies because you can just pile on so much damage. And, you know, just like that, I mean, after a pretty intense being on the back foot for most of this game, I think it's now swung somewhat strongly into the favor of Squawmaker, and he's now pushing back out onto the map.
Yeah, these redcoats are going to do quite a lot of damage as, once again, Tars is just leaving his villagers out to die. Like says, I don't need them. I'm Dutch. I got 4 banks.
I got a bank up here.
Oh, he's got 5 banks now. Wow, they just seem to spawn out of nowhere, right, don't they, Platt?
The aggressive bag forward bank, FB forward bank. But look, and then
so
he pushes.
He's at his bank cap then.
Yeah.
Unless he's sent his bank card.
Which, again, I do not believe he has. I mean, he might as well at this point, or HP probably, something. Okay. Wow, big fight here. Okay, no Mahoots. Looks like they're just going to town. I don't know why they had the melee animation. I guess they were brutal hand-to-hand combat with Gurkha. It does not sound good because these Gurkha do have slightly more hand attack. Not just slightly, significant, but, you know, doesn't seem like much.
No. And looking at the scores here, Platt, there, like you said, it might be swinging over toward India's favor. He's got a slight score lead, despite Dutch just constantly being in his base and having been there for the last, you know, at least 5-10 minutes, it seems like.
I agree. And, you know, now he's building horse artillery. Like, that is such a dangerous unit into TAD civs because, again, TAD civs don't really have the best culverin types. So heavy cannons, horse artillery, even mortars can be a real challenge for these civs. But, yeah, I don't know why he's saving the shipment. He's probably just microing his ass off, tired, because it's been 34 minutes. Wow. Man, this is going by fast. This has been just absolutely action-packed.
It does not feel like it's been 34 minutes yet. Here we are.
This is intense. Wow.
Both civs having lost dozens of villagers each at this point, it feels like. And we'll see what happens here. These horse artilleries may be what the straw that breaks the camel's back, but we'll have to see. Both these players are microing incredibly well, taking good trades on both sides, I would say. Platt, I'd say in most of these battles, it's kind of hard to say who was a winner.
I would say so. Like, each player has really good sense of tempo. I haven't seen too many caught out in bad situations, just a few here and there. You know, again, they're just constantly poking, constantly doing stuff. I mean, this is Age of Empires when it's at its best, because even though these are kind of two civs that can kind of lock the map or be very passive, I think we've seen nothing but action since, what, like the 7-minute mark now?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, that's when the first raids kind of popped in. I am kind of shocked to see Tars make the willful decision to not siege the rest of these walls. Just wanting to come in from this one point of entry.
Right, and I mean, it would not be difficult. Ooh, nice snipe though.
Beautiful. Now he's going to have to retreat a little bit. And try and maybe get some pot shots off with the skirms, but yeah, now here's the Mahouts. Very good micro from both players. Mahouts now going over to the horse artillery to see if the Reuters can deal with them. No.
Gets
horse
one,
artillery is going to be going down.
And gets...
Oh, 2 survived, but they're low health. Yeah, there they go.
Still, though, that's not the worst trade that you could have. Yeah,
now he's getting the Reuters all the way up there.
Wow, he's just charging him in, just trying to keep this mass down. And man, just like that, it seemed like India was getting ready to take it away again, and now this is looking pretty even. I mean, those siege elephants, they count as, if I remember right, a siege unit and a ranged cav, so they're eating a lot of damage from those skirms.
This is the first bad fight I've seen by either player taken, but the remass is here. You know, you got a lot of Gurkha in here to try and deal with this. We'll see how this shakes out, but you know, producing out of 3 constant 4 actually barracks. So the remass is just going to be constantly present by India, and Dutch is going to have to back up here because the units just won't stop coming. Wow,
this is what a hold. I mean, even though he took a great fight, it seems like he is still slowly getting bled out. And the only thing I can think of is, you know, he doesn't have any good Age 4 cards. I think this would be a perfect time for him to go to Age 4, send the church, get some pops.
More horse artillery.
Man, good use of his resources. Just, I'm impressed so far by both these players. The hunts are now almost out. Now, typically in like a super late game, Dutch's economy is not the best, so I think India is like goal is just to like stop. Oh no, is he going to give this away? Oh no. Wow,
he's just put those horse artillery right up in the middle of the base, and this might be the fight that ends it.
Now, is he going to snipe the Mansabar? Oh, no way.
No,
oh, 16 health. 12. Oh, okay, there he goes.
Oh, there it goes. All right.
Ooh, Mahout pop though. Wow, that thing is clutch. Oh, and he gets another shipment there. Okay. Wow. Okay, here's the big fight.
Yes. Mahout's on the heavy cav, or on the horse artillery. We've got more British musketeers and a heavy cannon.
Wow, this Mahout's getting so much value.
The Reuters are going to hop on that heavy cannon, snipe it down. Skirmers in the back. The one Mahout's still alive, but no, doesn't get one more connect. And again, this is just fantastic work by both players. Good micro, good decision making on unit comps.
Wow.
And you know, despite all of this, India still has a score lead and is just looking really good.
You know, it's
Still.
like they're tying over and over again. I think at this point, both of these civs, now finally sending the church card for the Dutch in order to get more banks. But I mean, India, did he? Yep. Okay, he sent all of his shipments that he needs to. He's got good melee. He just needs to hold. But man, it's so hard. It seems like every time he ties with, Dutch is able to like just send another mass. And look at that. Finally, he has to now take Vils off. He's getting a bunch of idols. He's got another Mansavar.
This could actually be the tipping point here because now, you know, you're going to have to...
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. That's huge.
Wow. Good.
India's, you know, they idled, what, 20-something villagers, but it's possible, depending on how these next battles go, that those two rice paddies over there are completely useless, and you're going to have to send those vills out somewhere else.
Yep.
I say that, and there's villagers going right back to the rice paddies, so maybe not.
Is he going to give away that horse artillery? Okay, well, I guess he gives a shot, but probably not exactly what he wanted. And yep, he kills one Mahout. The Gherkin now, God, this is just insane. Look, the scores are even again. Like, these guys are now neck and neck. In fact, the scores have gone down from where they pointed. I want to look at the score at the end of this game to give you an idea of like how bloodthirsty this has been. This is literally just like the Battle of Verdun, but the Battle of Dakota. Because it's just they're bleeding each other dry, and I feel like India in the long term can win, but like they look at this, they have no army, they still have to hold. There's no guarantee. I don't know what to say other than at this point, damn, like this is intense, and it's at the 40-minute mark. Like,
yeah, it seems like with every even trade is more like 51-49 Dutch favor. Dutch has just been slowly over the past 20 minutes pushing into India's base, you know, now sitting units comfortably underneath that first town center that India has.
Right. The Zambrak's coming up, but again, Reuters are better than Zambrak's, and I mean, oh man, now he's slaughtering Vils. This is tough. This is really tough. And yeah, Squawmaker now for the first time in maybe 10 minutes, his score is dipping down. He has got to figure out a way. Oh, another shipment of redcoats. But look at that quick
and again,
reaction.
this falconet, these falconets are not getting a ton of value with every shipment of redcoats that comes in. Although this one does, survive for a brief moment before going down. Not huge value from that huge investment into the British consulate there, Platt, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, now he's stacking coin. You know, both these players' shipment curve is basically exhausted at this point. You know, again, Tars, if you're watching this, pick this map for a reason. But I'm going to get back to the actors because I'm giving a critique, but both these players are playing out of their mind right now. This is just impressive stuff, right? Those are just
you put me in this. Yeah, you put me in this situation, and I fold 20 minutes ago.
Same. I'm just exhausted. I'm just like throwing units away at that point, where I'm like, please let it stop. But these guys are just going hard, man, and like just all the little microing, keeping stuff on top. Again, now he's kind of sieging, trying to get this stable down. Okay.
Which he will? Question mark? No, he's just gonna run away.
That might be a mistake.
On
now he's going for the consulate. Okay.
How much export does India have? You know, only 300, so shouldn't expect to see anything pop from there in a long time, or for a little bit at least.
Mahouts and now double.
And there's a bunch of Vils just waiting to be eaten.
Oh, he's not paying attention. These Mahouts are going to pop.
And there they go. And connect.
Ooh.
There's a whole bunch of blue numbers.
And more skirms. Oh, look at that.
Oh, no. The Mahout ran straight through them. There we go. Now two connecting. Third one going to come in. Area of effect damage. All those health bars decreasing. Obviously, you know, having Reuter there is going to help, but
it's going to help.
Huge
These Mahouts got on top, yeah. They're just absolutely going to town. And I mean, all of his force is almost dead. There's still Mahouts left. Now there's Gurkha reinforcing. And I mean, just like that, where Dutch was looking on top, I feel like Dutch is very close to getting, maybe not wiped here, but like, again, fighting to like exhaustion. Like there's just nothing left.
India down on 76, well now 78 villagers, still constantly training. At this point, I can assume that Dutch, well no, he still hasn't sent the bank card, but how many banks does he have? He's got the 4 in base, had the 4 in base. Still those 4.
The forward.
Interesting estate placements, 5s. So he's sent the advanced church card, but has not sent the tech from it.
No. Or if he has, he hasn't gotten any value out of it. 'Cause look, no, wait, no.
Yeah.
Banks. The 2800 base now? I think so. I forget, because they reworked the special card, right? Just to basically, for the church card, it's less HP on banks, like minus 20%, I want to say. But you can make 2 more, which is a pretty good card. Because late game, if people are sieging your banks, you're probably dead anyway. So it's kind of like a net positive. And I mean, look at these 2 units too. I mean, these Gurkha are not going to be able to really keep up with these skirms, even with the Mansabar. Well, I guess that's fairly even, but you know, it's 2020 stat to 30-30. He really needed, what do you call it? Royal Green Jackets, I think it's called.
That sounds about right. Dutch,
Here's
no ideas to age up. He is stuck in age 3. I mean, why would he? He doesn't have any age 4 cards in his deck. More villagers going down now. And not being able to get those walls up, that second layer of walls up to defend is going to possibly be the downfall. No, there's Halbs there, though. You can't push that anymore.
No.
Between the Reuters and the Halbs, you just kind of gotta push them out of your base, say, I've had enough of you, get back, let me reclaim some space.
Is he making Seaboy now, too? That must have been a misclick, because those are H2 Seaboy. Those things are just kind of going to get eaten alive here. And I mean, yeah, I mean, he's just pushing Dutch back. But just like that, yep, the Reuter Swarm is right on top. There's not a lot of Gurkha, even though the Gurkha do have extra hand attacks, so like they're not the worst skirms to have in the melee like this, but it's just such a big mass.
He's still getting pops of, 15 at a time from all 3 of his racks.
Well, there goes 1 Mahout.
They are going to connect. Where are those Reuters? They're hiding somewhere in there unless they've been eliminated by the Gurkha. And, oh no, they're up there fighting the Gurkha.
Yeah, and just like that, these Mahouts have to go back. Even I'm starting to get tired. I've casted this. This is just constant back and forth, man. Both of these players, I think at this point, they should have their head held up high from here on out, because this is just an absolute slugfest. And I mean, Squawmaker's score has been kind of underneath, but starting to catch up again. You know, again, if he can get back to the full villager count, I think he will have more economy than Dutch.
But they're still sitting at about 30,000 score. I mean, just so you know, viewers at home, they've been sitting here at this score value for literally ever since they hit age 3, it seems like.
Yeah, and going back down quite a few times. So, I mean, this is just a game of violence between 2 civs that, I mean, typically you don't necessarily think of like a Russia or a Maltese civ where it's all about grinding. I guess the question is, if you're India, like, how do you get out of this stalemate, right? Because at this point, you're completely on mills and everything, right? Like, you're kind of stuck, and you got to be thinking, like, how do I get out of this? Because his units are fully teched.
I mean, at the same time, Dutch is in the same boat, where he's fully on mills, and in the States, and has less villagers. So, I mean, I guess you kind of hope that you outscale at some point, but you gotta find a way to push Dutch out of your base and just reclaim some of your land.
I like that too.
At this point, I don't know how possible that is, because Dutch is remassing just as fast as wow, really good putting him into stagger modes to help negate the area of effect. Did that almost instantly.
Right? Ooh, and this Mahout's not dead. It's got 51 HP, but it's still going to town. And look at all these Mahouts. They're low HP, but they're still doing work. And wow, just like that, Dutch, I think, is about to get finally pushed out for, what, the last 20 minutes? Fighting at this base?
He's been sitting at those walls since about the 20-25 minute mark. And he's finally been pushed completely out of
2 HP.
The base, but we'll see how long that lasts. I probably expect to see a few more horse artillery coming up here in the near future.
I think that's not a bad idea, especially with the mobility now being part of this game.
Nope, mortars instead. That's fine.
Why is he sending this bill forward? Is that a misclick, or does he have some nefarious idea?
Well, remember, we can't see... Those walls have never been touched, so Dutch can't see that foundation at all.
That's true. What's interesting, too, is why would you build falconets when you have access to horse artillery? Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, but like two of these...
So this is what... Oh, there's... Okay, there's the rest of the banks.
Look how
they
fast
are.
they go down. That is nuts.
So he's on 7 banks,
Yeah, not for
I
long.
think. Maybe 8. There was 5. So yeah, he's on 8. Well, now 7.
But he's going to send Dutch East India Company, which he should have sent before. You know, he definitely then did send the church card, and this is the reduced HP. Maybe it's 3,500 or something base.
Yeah.
But yeah, building your base out here, a bit of a mistake in hindsight, because again, Squawmaker's base is way more defensible. Tars is kind of
He's got all walls. Dutch has reclaimed space on that initial wall line, but we'll see what this raid ends up doing, if how much damage it does, and if Squamaker here is able to keep fighting on 2 fronts. I think he wins this game.
I think so. You know, a bit of hindsight, of course, is 2020, but having his base so far out is killing him here. And yeah, he needs to get those Reuters to deal with these mahouts. Just shoot it.
He's got no walls either, compared to, like you said, much more defensible position for India here, whereas Dutch just kind of built all his stuff out here and said, you can't do anything, I'm in your base. And once Squamaker pushed him out of the base, well, now we're fighting, now we're talking.
You know, I think a classic kind of parallel would be often when you're against Ottoman. You know, classic Ottoman, not the new Ottoman. But, yeah, classic Ottoman, that's what they would do. They'd be in your base, they bully you. But once you break out of their kind of stranglehold, right, like they don't have the infrastructure typically or the economy to, like, wall and bunker down everywhere. Not used to. And this would happen a lot. And so we're kind of seeing that ironically from a civ that typically would look more like this.
Although, are there still mortars shooting at units in
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a mortar, and
Nope,
I understand at this point, we're almost an hour into this game. I can understand why the walls are being built like this now, because you're just really trying to do your best to reclaim.
Well, it becomes.
I still don't really like to see it, but yeah.
And that's something I clearly, it's kind of a hot topic right now. It truly is, like, if you think about it objectively.
I can't be mad.
Yeah.
At spamming walls. Now we're in an hour. You just want to try and grind down your opponent.
Yeah, and you kind of have to, because one bad raid, like we saw here, right? I mean, I think this was the game ender for Dutch, in my opinion. Yeah, look at the scores now starting to get away. You don't want to be on the other end of that. Ooh, he's aging to 4 with the Taj Mahal.
Oh, he is. What did I say, Platt? The first person to get to age 4 wins.
Yep.
Not that I know that Squamaker wins this, but you get age 4, you're going to get your techs, and that's probably game over.
Yeah, and look at, he's overpopped by a good amount too. He's also got Ceasefire, one of the coolest, obnoxious at times, and sometimes completely useless. But man, when you pull it off, game winner right there. Look at these Urui.
Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful.
Such cool models. You gotta love all the love. And all right, let me. Hopefully, speaking of love, he takes the sheep. I love it.
All hail the sheep.
Right, Squamaker's Dunamai approved. Right.
Yes.
You will not take my sheep. You will not.
This is my sheep, and I love it.
Right, I love it. I got it first. He likes me. Oh, he's got another one too. Okay, there must have been a treasure. Ooh.
Oh, those raids. Those are going to be sent to raid. Yep. Look at this.
Or flank him. And this might be like the big battle. Good game sense too. Look at this. He instantly starts moving back. Do you have line of sight on these somehow? Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't imagine he did. But just, that comes with knowing your opponent and just being
sense.
Good at the game. You just know that something is coming, and sure enough,
right.
You get to pull back to your fort, and now India is starting to build back up behind that first layer of walls, and this is, I think, disaster here for Dutch.
I think so. I really believe. Yeah. Oh my God! Look at the score difference. It's just exploded, and I mean this game isn't necessarily that much settled, but I think at this point, Dutch needs a throw from India. Like Squamaker needs to make a mistake, and again, as tired as these players are, it's very possible. But I mean, even this is not the best battle, I think, for Squamaker.
With the man Subdara units, and I think they've probably at this point been teched up, because just look how much res India is stacking now. Like,
Yeah,
the remass is just gonna keep on. The remass is unstoppable at this point. You can take bad trades and be all right now.
Yeah.
If you're India.
Dutch is gonna have to figure out, like, it needs to age now, but then probably revolt because you've got nothing.
You've got no power spike in age 4 now, so
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, he is stacking a little bit of res, but certainly not really macroed properly to get to age 4.
He's
Do
not.
we have raids down in the south in Dutch's base again, or
Oh.
that's a game ender there?
Yeah.
Platt.
He can't even spare the units. So I think he's just gonna push all in up here, and then he's gonna call it, because that's all you can do. At least these banks are cheap, and they have a lot of HP. So
Yeah, Dutch East India Company coming in handy, finally.
right.
But now you've got 2 racks. You've got the stable going up now, and maybe at this point, an hour into the game, Dutch doesn't even know that he's being raided in the south,
He might not, and
which is very possible.
right. Like, people get so tired at this point, and not to mention, like, he might just be doing it all in because he realizes.
Oh, the ceasefire. That is that's a really clutch ceasefire here, because you might lose that next engagement, but this gives you time to remass, and just kind of get settled before you make your final push into Dutch's base.
Yep. And he's now backing off. Oh, he's got a single skirm, causing his army to slow down. Oh no.
Now the Reuters. Oh, he's got 1 skirm in there.
Yep. Poor Tar.
And he's deciding
exhausted.
just deciding to leave those guys alone. Maybe he's gonna, train some Reuters back in base and send those over.
I think he's trying to age. No.
He's macroed for it. Oh god. Yeah, he's gonna just send some Reuters over there and try and deal with that.
He can't even do anything with the market. Ooh, it looks like we're missing the final fight. And yeah, Mahout's going forward. Yurumi streaming forward. And yeah, I think this is going to be a cleanup here. I think we might be seeing the GG. Truly.
No, I think we could have said that 3 times over, but there's the GG. India with a miraculous comeback after dealing with Dutch in his base for the better part of like 35 minutes. Maybe even more. Well done. Platt, I don't really have any notes. Both of these players are significantly above my ELO rating. And both of these players played excellently. I mean, I'm not sure there's much more Dutch could have done besides, maybe get a little bit more artillery in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, well done both of these guys for sure.
Putting out the base out here, yeah, I totally agree. First off, I want to give kudos to both players. Like, their sense of timings, like, that's something that is earned. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like read a build and just do it, right? Like how they kept timing all of their attacks in this base back and forth in the ebb and flow. Like, these are definitely veteran players, and they're showcasing high-level Age of Empires 3, which is it's game sense. You know what I mean? That's kind of nebulous term of knowing when to do comp switches. When the Hussar came in for Dutch, that was very clutch. A few of the Mahout pops, right, and the ceasefire, and knowing when to raid down here from India to get back into this game is what definitely gave India the game. Plus, making sure that he sets up his economy for long term. Both of these players, right? And just an excellent game, man. That was a really fun one to watch. At times I hope I wasn't too quiet because I was enjoying watching it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the score here. I'm very curious to see what all of these timeline graphs look like from, villager count.
Lots of raids.
So many. I can't even begin to try and add up the total amount of villagers lost by both players here. I mean,
brutal.
military.
That's all
Yeah.
you need to know. I mean, this right here in the center, I was definitely when Dutch had the advantage. They just were not able to close out the game. But I mean, Dutch came back from this excellent opening from Squamaker, catching out and punishing Dutch. Took a really bad fight there. He was able to recover, and just lots of swings. I mean, look at how many swings that is, and let's look at the score because I think that is going to be the funniest one. Yeah, it's like it basically flatlines.
It flatlines from, what is that? I can't, like, from
24.
that point right there, 25 minutes all the way till 50 minutes before India finally gets a little bit of advantage and just capitalizes.
I mean, just that tells you all you really need to know about how violent it is. That's 25 minutes. That's exhausting.
Yes.
Right? Kudos, man, to these players. I know they said that this was like an absolute banger. I do believe this is the game 3. So out of this series, Squamaker does do a sweep, but I heard the other 2 games are also absolute bangers. I don't know if we'll have time to cast any of those, but wow, man, that was just clean, good. You didn't see any really cheeky other than the mortars perhaps and some of the plays there from Tars, but it's just good stuff, man. That was great. That was like a fine wine or something like that.
This is what Age of Empires it needs to be. This is Age of Empires at its finest, to be completely honest. There wasn't really any kind of bullshit, pardon my language, but we're not monetized.
Right. Right, it's judging by my mic work. Clearly not. But what were you gonna say?
No, it was a solid 3-unit comp, good micro, good macro, no really cheesy units at all. And I think it's just this type of game is what made me fall in love with the Age of Empires 3.
Agree, 100%, and I don't know what else to say other than I'm in total agreement. So with that, if you've made it this far, please give us a like or subscribe. In the comments, if you enjoyed both of these players, make sure to give them a shout out, right? Because again, everyone's just playing for the fun of it right here. We really appreciate the players and everybody for making sure we even got this, because there's problems getting the damn Rex. Just incredible. So I hope I see everybody on the next one. Like, subscribe, and we've got more coming to you. So see you next time.
Peace out.